Sanhedrin Daf Samach Amud Aleph, 24 lines down. Today's daf is sponsored by Zach ben Zakin of Washington Lay, Ishaq ben Salha. When the case is completed regarding the witness, they're testifying about the guy who cursed Hashem. We said that they stand up when they hear God's name. They stand up when they hear that they heard God's name. Ehud came to the king of Moab, Eglon, and he was sitting in a certain chamber. He said, and when he said, I have a message from God, he said God's name, the king from Moab stood up. If Eglon, the king of Moab, he knew only the secondary name of Elohim of God, Ahmad, and he still stood. Yisrael v'Shem Mufresh, like come across us, who when we hear Hashem's specific name, we should for sure stand up. Ended up being an ambush. Ehud was killing him. Okay, according to me, how many are supposed to rip their garments, like in the Mishnah it says. They came with torn garments after hearing a Hashem name torn. Cursed. Then they said what happened to Rav Shaka. So you see, they heard it already, they tore their garments, and then they came later on, they see that they still left their garments torn. Lo ma'achin, we never repair it. Minan havi no amar Rabbi Abahu. Atia kiriya, we learn Zera Shava. Ktiv hacha kiriya begadim, we see over here that they heard the Torah clothing. Ktiv hatam b'Leon Navi when he died. Yashar Ev hu mitzahak avi avi recha Yisrael varashav lo od. Beyahazek b'vatav v'kraim l'shnaim kiraim. He took his clothes and he ripped it into two pieces. Now we know that it was said it was ripped into two. Of course, it's pieces. Why mention torn pieces? It mentions that teaches you that it was forever torn. Number nine. Whether you hear the curse, God being cursed, or you hear from someone who's heard it, have the have to tear garments. But the witnesses don't have to tear because they already tore their garments when they heard the cursing happen. One second, why? They already heard it, but they're now hearing it again. They just tear again. The Gemara says, when Hiskiah heard what Rav Shaka said, he cursed, he tore his garments. And only he tore it because he heard the report, but they didn't tear again, even though they heard it again. So we see that witnesses don't tear again. Someone hears Hashem's name being cursed by a goy. But if you want to say Rav Shaka that we tore when he said it, he was a rebellious Jew. Only tear our clothing if we hear the cursing of God's specific name, but not a secondary name. He argues against Rabbi Yahya in both things. He held, if we hear a God's name being cursed, you don't have to tear. Because if you do not say that, if you say we do tear, we'll be tearing so much more because people curse God left and right. The man who says that we hear it being cursed. Either way, we want to say that a Jew curses God left and right. Do we say that people curse God left and right? Jews? No. And the pshita must be so you see from the fact that it's referring to Goyim, that we're constantly hearing cursing God, it can't be talking about the Shem and Flash because they don't know it. Must be even secondary names. Nowadays we don't tear for secondaries, must be we usually used to. Okay. The second one it says, I too heard what he said. And he doesn't have to repeat it. The Gemara says, generally testifying by saying I'm with him. I heard what he said. It works by monetary in capital cases. But in general, the reason why we need people to specify what they're saying is because we want hachamim, takanat hachamim. But over here, regarding cursing God, we say it's not possible. Therefore, we say, you know what, the Duraita, it works, let it, you don't have to repeat it. Because if it did not work in the first place, we wouldn't be able to kill the guy. Because, yeah, one witness testified, but when you two witnesses testify and the second guy can't testify, we can't kill him. Must be that it works to say, I heard what he said. When the Mishnah mentioned the third witness to say, I also heard. Why we mentioned three? This Mishnah holds who equates three witnesses to two in all halachot, which means that if one witness gets pasul, the other two witnesses are also pasul, even though seemingly it should be okay, but that's what Rabbi Akiva holds. Okay, someone serves an idol, whether he serves it, whether he slaughters an animal, whether he burns an animal, he pours libation, he bows down to it, he accepts it as his God. Eliata, where he says, "You are my God." Avam megafef, but if he hugs it, Menashek, he kisses it, Mechaber, he sweeps in front of it, Mamabet brings water next to it, Mechaiza washes it, Ba'asach, or he puts oil on it, Mamabish, he puts clothes on it, Amana'il, he puts shoe on it, Over below taset, Umi below taset. Hagoder bishmo, if someone makes a swear in his name, in the name of the idol, the Mekayem bishmor, he makes another, he vows or makes a swear, Over below taset, also below taset. Hapoer b'esmo b'tal p'or, if someone defecates to Baal p'or, Zuhi avudatah, that is its service, and therefore you get killed for it. Hazurek Evan Markolis, if you throw a stone to Markolis, Zuhi avudatah, also its service, and that's how you be killed for that. My echad ha'oved, what's the first thing? If you serve it. Amar b'yamiyah hachikamar. Echad ha'oved kidarka, whether or not you serve it, the normal way of serving it. V'echad mizaveach, v'echad mekatev, v'echad minasech, v'echad mishtachaveh, v'afilu shlo kidarka. Meaning, if you serve it normally, the way this idol is designated to be served, then you're chayil. But even if it's not the normal way, but you're slaughtering the animal, burning libation, bowing down, etc., even if that's not the usual thing, that's still automatic execution. How come we don't count also when we sprinkle blood for it? Where it says, the same thing as pouring libation, okay, it says, Pasuk just said, whoever slaughters an animal shall be destroyed. You might think, maybe it's only to a person who slaughters a korban outside the Beit HaMikdash. Lelohim, rather. Also refers to their God. Referring to a person who slaughters a korban for a false God. And the Allah that only applies to slaughtering. I don't know if it's a person who burns or pours libation as well. Where it says, all types of services that are for the Beit HaMikdash is included in slaughtering. Okay, the fishi zvicha. Now that slaughtering was mentioned in the first place, lidon ba'ur panim. This is we're saying this is the general model for services done in the Beit HaMikdash. Minayin rabot hashtahava. How do we know that it includes bowing down, which we only do for Hashem? The pasuk refers to specifies bowing down. And we mentioned after that you kill him. We know that you can't bow down to an idol by we stone him. As I know that it's a sword, there's separate isur in the Gemara. In the Torah, the Gemara says, you might think that I should say that even someone who kisses, hugs it, or puts a shoe on it. Only slaughtering. Slaughtering was part of these things that are asur. Why was specified to include the services in the Beit HaMikdash? Teach you. Just like slaughtering is done in the Beit HaMikdash, you killed for it. Any other services in the Beit HaMikdash is also killed for it. Then bowing down was brought by itself. And then the rest is interpreted for the services, teach you that only the services in Beit HaMikdash are killed for, nothing else. For example, hugging it. I would have said, I would have explained the pasuk is referring to someone slaughtering outside the Beit HaMikdash against everything we just said now. Gemara says, why would you explain that pasuk that way if we know that if someone slaughters something outside the Beit HaMikdash, you get karet, not sekila? Gemara says, you might think when I warned him, he might be killed. But if he's not warned, he does karet. If God needs to kill him, he kills him karet. But if we catch him, it's sekila. Therefore, the pasuk teaches you that the killing is someone who's serving a avodah zarah and not in serving outside the Beit HaMikdash. Okay. Maybe you might think that bowing down was singled out to serve, teach you that you get killed for that as a general category for serving avodah zarah. Therefore, you might think, oh, why didn't they pasuk for slaughtering? Lugufer teach you that slaughtering is asur. That's considered avodah zarah. The itmar. And we'll see that specific thing that having intention for avodah zarah is a problem. Itmar Bartha says, someone slaughters an animal with having in mind to sprinkle the blood for an avodah zarah, or to burn a fat for avodah zarah. The Yochanan says, asura, that animal is now asur for benefit completely. But mutar because you didn't do it yet. Because he says that when it says slaughtering, it can mean teaching you that it's not having intention because there's no pasuk matching that. The Rosh Hashanah, according to Rosh Hashanah, maybe this pasuk teaches you that slaughtering is for this purpose. All right, Yochanan didn't hold that. I don't believe that. It's automatically asur No intention, I don't care. Rish Lakish says that is mutar. Maybe Rish Lakish would need this passage to teach you that slaughtering is asur for that reason. Gemara says matkit Rabbi Yochanan lo ba'ikra. What do you mean? Rabbi Yochanan also needs the pasuk. Because Rabbi Yochanan ela b'nana. Rabbi Yochanan only says asur is making the animal asur for benefit. Ava gavra lo ba'kat lo. But if the guy himself he slaughtered the animal, he gets killed for it. Ve'ata kara le'chivil gavra lekatla. Now, would the pasuk come to tell you that slaughtering by itself is asur for to get killed? Even Kosh Lakish, why need a pasuk? I can know Kosh Lakish. Elo behema. Kosh Lakish says only the animal's mutar for benefit. Avagavra bakalav, but you still kill the person. Immediately, have mishtachel the heart. Same way you battle into the mountain. The har mutar dahab b'sayaf. Just like we say that if you bat down to the mountain obviously does not become asur, but you still kill the guy. So too over here, same concept. Even though the avodah zarah can be mutar at times, you still kill the guy. And therefore, we see from here that the person who slaughters an animal should get killed, whether or not the animal is mutar or asur.